Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. On this channel we talk about all things fandom and we talk about it in a positive way. If that's something that appeals to you, you know you've come to the right place. We are incredibly happy to have you here. And if you're just joining us for the first time today, this is Terrifying Tuesday on our channel where we talk about all things horror. So today we have to talk about the brand new trailer that just released, Strangers Chapter 2. And this trailer looks really good. So we're going to break it down and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on it all. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so The Strangers Chapter 1 was essentially a remake of the original film. And on paper, I understand why they did this, because they were talking about doing a trilogy of these movies, and they obviously had something in mind when they decided they were going to do this. However, whatever it is they have in mind was something that required them to remake the first film. And that is something fans don't like normally, but in this case, I think it worked for the best, only because if what they're doing is going to drastically change everything, going to make The Strangers into its own franchise, or give us something worth watching, then I'm 1000% down for them to do it. This isn't like a case where you got people that came in and said, oh, we just didn't like the original stuff, we don't like the franchise, but we're going to redo it for money reasons, we're going to change everything about it. It wasn't necessarily like that. Granted, they are giving us some new lore, some new things going on within this franchise, but that's okay. That's not a game changer. Well, at least not in a bad way, because the second movie we got from the original Strangers wasn't something that a lot of people liked. I thoroughly enjoyed the second Strangers movie, but a lot of people really didn't. So for them to reboot it with Strangers Chapter 1 is something that I think a lot of people were nervous about, and it didn't garner a whole lot of attention when you think about it. It really didn't. It wasn't like it had a big, huge release where people just couldn't stop talking about it. It sort of went under the radar and is underrated because overall the film isn't that bad, but essentially it is a remake of the original, and I think that turned a lot of people off. Well, now the trailer for Chapter 2 has dropped. So let's break down what this trailer had to say, and then I will let you know all my thoughts about it afterwards. So we open up on a stormy night where we're looking at a sign that says Carol's Diner. Now, next to that, over in the distance, you can see what looks like a thrift shop sign. I'm not 1000% sure on that, so don't quote me on that. Now, then you also have this sign for a salon next to that. And then, of course, the diner. And then over to the other side is this hardware shop. Now, I found that interesting to see all those shops together, but then I like looking at shops like that. I'm weird. I like seeing what the town that we're going to in movies looks like. So that excited me that we got to see that all of those are right next to each other. I thought that was an excellent addition to this trailer to start us off. We go into this diner where we see the waitress talking to the sheriff, and she says what everybody else is thinking. We want to know about that couple that died. So she wants to know what happened to the couple that died. Well, then we get a flashback to Chapter 1, and we see the strangers standing in front of them. Then in the diner, the sheriff tells her that the girl didn't die. It's at this point that we get a flashback to the hospital bed, and her boyfriend's laying next to her in the hospital bed, and she tells him that she knew he wouldn't leave her. And then as he's laying beside her, we see the sack-headed stranger standing there. That's just what I'm going to call him from now on. From now on, he is Sackhead. I like it. I don't know why that didn't catch on. Let's try to make that a thing. I don't know what they actually call him. Sackhead stranger works for me. So Sackhead stranger sitting by her, and then all of a sudden, she wakes up screaming. She's running out into the hall, and you see her running out into this hospital hall, and she goes to this exit sign. Now, this exit sign is really cool because it's green, and it's these white double doors, like to go, I guess, down in a stairwell. All of a sudden, the power goes out. and it's like red, and you hear the voice saying, "Is Tamra there?" From one of the strangers, you know, kind of a nod to the original and everything. So I like that a lot. And that was really creepy, by the way, to just see the red lights. And I think the green exit sign that they show on this door, and then all of a sudden the power goes out and everything's red. I think it's meant to be like, can she exit? Is it go time? And then all of a sudden, you as the viewer, since everything turns red, knows that this isn't going to be the thing. Now she screams, of course, she's running. She ends up in this hallway that must be down in the basement of the hospital. There's all of these pipes going back and forth. And she's running, and all of a sudden she sees Sackhead there. He's got an axe, and she turns and runs. She turns and darts, and he's running right after her. This dude can run, okay? He's running pretty fast. So then we see her in a car, and she's in the car with these really strange-looking figures and this bearded guy sitting next to her, and he asks her if she's the one everybody's been talking about. And then we get a quick flashback. And it's still raining, by the way. I think the entire trailer in this movie, it's raining. But we get this flashback after he says, "You're the one everybody's been talking about." It shows her going into this empty house, and we hear the guy continuing to talk to her, saying the one that survived. And this place looks like it's the crime scene from the first chapter. So she has to go back into this place, which is really horrible to begin with. I think that if I was her, I wouldn't have gone back into this place at all. I mean, that's just asking for trouble. Well, we know since she got out of the hospital being chased by them, that obviously they're after her. So, but why would you go back to that house? So then we see that same man standing in front of her again, and he says, "You were stabbed, right?" We go back to that quick flash, and we see her get stabbed, and then we see her in the woods with a stick in her mouth, stitching herself up, and the man is asking her, what did it feel like? And we go back to the strangers as she continues to talk, and she says, "I sort of liked it. It was like some kind of ritual." Next, we see Sackhead going into this barn of some sort. The guy is telling her this has been going on for years. So then she asks why they are doing this, and we get a couple quick flashes of all these different people, like the entire town. And then it goes back to him, and he says, "Why does there have to be a why?" Which gives out really creepy vibes. Not that they weren't creepy already, these people who picked her up, because they were immensely creepy already. Then we get scenes of her being chased and attacked before hiding behind a closed door. And the closed door she's hiding behind, all of a sudden one of the strangers is standing right behind her. She turns around and they just come face to face. It shows the title, and then it shows Sackface one more time, and it looks like he's holding a mask maybe in his hands. So that's the trailer. However, I like this trailer. I think it makes me more excited than I was to see this movie, because it seems like the entire town might actually be behind this, kind of a la Howling or something like that, where the entire town is just behind everything. And that's always really scary. That really does change the game plan if that's what they're doing. And it's definitely what they seem to be hinting at in this trailer with everything they show. With the flash of all the people when she asks why they're doing this, who are they, why are they doing this? And then his response. Now, either he is one of the strangers and he just doesn't have his mask on, or he's telling her, hey, yeah, why is there got to be a reason? Because the whole town's in on it. It gives that vibe. And it's really insane to watch this and think about it. Not to mention the fact that it could all be some ritual, because she does say she liked being stabbed, that she felt as though it was some kind of ritual. That kind of gives me vibes that maybe there is some sort of strange ritualistic thing going on here. Could it be that way? Could they be spinning this series to be something a lot more elaborate? And when you think about it, that's kind of a good thing, because picture it. The Strangers movies go on after this, after their initial trilogy. And the reason they would be able to go on after this is because they could just continue to bring people to this town. We could just continue to see the town take these people out in violent, horrible ways. That might be really cool. It might actually work. Picture an entire town that's kind of like Wrong Turn. That's what I'm seeing from this trailer. That's the type of vibe I'm getting. And I'm not hating that vibe. And I have high hopes for where they're taking this trilogy and the future of this movie. I do want to hear from you guys. Did you like this trailer if you saw it? What are you thinking? Did you like it, hate it? Do you think it's going to be a good turn of events for this movie? Or do you think this is just going to be your run-of-the-mill, typical movie and that it should have never been remade in the first place? Whatever you guys are thinking, I want to hear from you in the comments below. So make sure you are leaving me that comment in the comments below. Make sure you're sharing this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of this crazy conversation. Make sure you hit that like button. It's free. It helps the channel and we really appreciate it. Then we definitely need the subscribers to continue to bring you positive fandom news. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And make sure you're hitting that notification bell that's right next to it so you don't miss a single video we do. Because friends, I know it and you know it. Fandom is family.